You're listening to Rockers in Recovery Radio. If you'd like to find out more information, go to rockersinrecovery.com or Rockers in Recovery on Facebook. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.
Hey, John Hollis with Rockers in Recovery. Welcome to the show. Rockers in Recovery Media is dedicated to carrying the message of addiction recovery education, and we do it through music, news, events, and festivals taking place within and not limited to the clean and sober communities. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Check out rockersinrecovery.com for more information. You can also see the festival that's coming up. It's the Love of Recovery Music Festival, September 9, 2017. It's going to be held in Kirby Park up in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. You can find out more information just by going to rockersinrecovery.com. On the right-hand side, you can click and download the flyer. You can also click on Events tab up top and get all the information that you need for upcoming events. I want to thank Dan Carr and Joe Zepp for being on the show tonight. We're going to be talking music and recovery, and most importantly, Dan Carr has a great bass. He's a great bass player, and with the band The Groove, and we also want to talk to him about his 9 years clean and sober, and Giuseppe's going to come on and also be a part of the show tonight as a co-host. Joe Zepp, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you, John. Thank you. Nice to speak to you.
It's very cool to have you on as a guest host tonight.
Thank you, sir. Happy to be here.
What is give us a little bit of background on you before we bring on Dan, just so people understand as a co-host what you're going to be doing and what you like to do and what your music is about. Just give us a little scenario about you.
Well, I've been a drummer. I started playing drums around 17 years old. I've been playing probably 36, 37 years, and had the whole. I ran the gamut, so to speak. Signed to a small deal early on, and kind of traveled some and did a bunch of recording and that kind of thing, and then slowly but surely that developed into like local band stuff, and we kind of did like in the New York, New Jersey area for about 10 or 12 years, running around doing that, and I've traveled somewhat at that time, maybe 10 years into my career. And then I moved down to Florida, and I started playing with a lot of the local guys down here, and I kind of connected with some other players in Miami and Fort Lauderdale area. Now I'm up in Vero Beach and playing with pretty some substantial players up this way. And throughout this whole thing, I would say maybe 10 years ago, I kind of realized that I was just going through the motions, sort of, and kind of lost that, initial spark that really kind of, made me more driven. And I was just going through the motions, and, my disease was pretty rampant at that point, but I was very, very functioning. So it wasn't so noticeable, I guess, to me. I'm sure it was to everyone else, but it wasn't so noticeable to me. And so I kind of, lost that joy, I guess. And I didn't realize I had lost it until I kind of got it back after I got sober and started doing the work and in the program and getting in touch with my higher power and all that. I guess, for lack of a better word, the boyish, energy sort of came flooding back, and now the next thing you know, I'm shining up my drums, I'm shining up my cymbals, I'm buying new equipment, I'm practicing rudiments, getting all excited and practicing all the time, and it was just, I said to myself, there's got to be a lot of people like me out there. It occurred to me immediately. And I didn't know where and when I was going to be able to share this until I met you, John, and then it sort of came together for me because I said to myself, where am I going to do service? I mean, I make a mean cup of coffee, I have to tell you, and I would always entertain the ideas at meetings and whatnot that I would greet people and kind of spread the message that way, but I always thought that maybe there would be another outlet, to really utilize all the aspects of my story for helping kind of musicians that are going out there to these bars and they're just drinking and doing whatever just because it's cool, or just because they think we all thought it was cool, or we've just done it for so long that it's just kind of like part of it. And and so I said to myself, wow, I bet you there's a lot of guys out there like me. So I met you, John, in Rockers in Recovery, and we started to talk about, all the stuff. And then I got on the website and I saw the extensive interviews that you've had on the radio with everyone, and I was like, good Lord, there's so many of us, there's so many of us. And
it's an amazing thing, Joe. And one of the things that I've always wanted to be able to make sure that people were aware of is that, listen, I don't care if you're a rocker in recovery or you're somebody that loves going to shows and you're a listener of music, or you're a performer or a musician, somebody that's out there, like you said, and dealing with, being in front of people every day and being able to carry a message. May it be at a bar or may it be at a venue, wherever it's at, but at the same time, giving somebody an outlet to be able to talk about, just like you're saying, talk about their recovery. So it's a really kind of a cool thing. Let's do this. Let's bring Dan on, because what I want to do is talk to Dan right now in regards to, what he's doing and how he's been working his program, because, I don't know if you realize it or not, but Dan Carr just celebrated 9 years 2 days ago. Is that right, Dan?
He's got 9
2
years,
days ago?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
Days
sir.
ago.
By the grace of God. By the grace of God.
Amazing. Hey, Joe. We got Dan. We got
you.
Joe Zepp on the phone with us, and he's part of the interview tonight too. Dan, Joe's going to be doing some host work with Rockers in Recovery on the radio show, so we're looking forward to having him on. But I wanted to definitely talk to you about two things tonight, and the first thing is music. Second thing is recovery. So let's do it opposite. We're going to do recovery first, because that's the most important thing, right? Can't have anything else without the recovery.
Sir.
So
yeah,
let's,
man,
let's
everything
talk
I've
about,
gained in 9 years goes away.
Absolutely. Joe, do you have any questions for Dan as far as the recovery aspect?
I've never really heard Dan's story, but I know he's got a really strong recovery and a strong gratitude base, and I read his Facebook posts all the time, and we talk. We've never really sat down and broke bread with regard to recovery. And I know he's a strong family man, and I know he's a very, very hard worker. But what strikes me most about Dan is his humility, basically, and it's evident in everything that he does. His gratitude and humility, which are the cornerstones, of any good program. So, but yeah, I'd like to ask, when it gets dark, and when you kind of get, exhausted and tired, what's the main thing that you go to? Do you hit your knees? Do you do a meeting? Where do you go when times are tough, Dan?
Always the first place I go is God, and it's this simple, man. 50,000 people a year die from epilepsy. The numbers are probably higher than that for the disease of addiction. Both. I have both, and yet I'm still here. I've, in my 30s, I'm 47 now. About 33, I had my first seizure and got diagnosed with epilepsy. And for people that don't know, that's a seizure disorder. It's a disease of seizures. And I've had probably in the neighborhood of 1,200 grand mal seizures, and I'm still here. So with that being said, I know there's a strong God in my life. I know he's got a purpose for me. When adversity strikes, I go to my daily maintenance steps, man. I'm quick to take an inventory of my day to find out where the root of the problem is. Then I go to prayer and meditation, which brings me closer to God and clears my head so that I'm able to do what God has ordained me to do, and that is to be of service to another human being. And that always lifts me out of whatever I'm going through.
Good stuff, man.
That's great, man.
Amazing.
That's great.
Dan, when you first started to experience the whole seizure thing and going through epilepsy, were you clean at that point or no?
No.
Okay.
I'm 47.
So you were
with 9 years
drinking
clean.
and going through all of that.
I was, I don't know if we want to get drug specific here, but I was doing a whole lot more than drinking.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
I jumped on. Yeah, I jumped on that whole pain management epidemic that went on down here, and I jumped on board with that. Go ahead. Yeah, and I couldn't get off that train. Once I jumped on that train, it was just horrific. It was horrific.
So what brought you to the end? I mean, what was the crisis that said, okay, I'm enough with the drinking. I'm dealing with, a brain injury, surgeries, kidney operations, active addiction. What was the final thing that brought you in and said, something, this has got to stop?
Is it cool, John, if I just start from the beginning?
Yeah, man. Go ahead. Absolutely.
Cool. Because again, all glory be to my God, man. All glory be to Yeshua, simply because he's the one that lifted me out of this when I hit my knees and asked him to. I couldn't do it on my own. But real quick, man, from the beginning, I was a social user. I hung around older cats on the scene that were drinking and using, and, it was social, if there's such a thing. I wasn't out of control. The day things got out of control, the very day things got out of control, and I was off to the races, was in 1994 when my son died due to malpractice. Once my son passed and I watched him pass in his mother's arms, my wife at the time, I was lost. It was a sense of agony and pain that I could not deal with. It's something no parent should ever go through. And instead of turning to God, I was godless at the time. I turned to all I knew, which was drugs and alcohol in just large amounts. I had resentments on top of resentments for the doctor, for all of it, the nurses, the hospital it happened at. I had a major, and I didn't know this till I came to recovery and did work. I had a lot of resentments on me. I wanted to make it my fault somehow. I kept searching for how can it be my fault because nobody can beat me up like me. Got to a point where I hated me. I couldn't stand to look at myself in the mirror. So as a result, I kept using more and more, trying to function. And like so many of us, my life got unmanageable, losing jobs, losing opportunities, losing family. Like my family couldn't watch me slowly kill myself anymore. They had to distance themselves. So in the exact moment where I realized that only God could take this from me was like this. I was in jail, and I was a violent drinker, which I do not condone violence anymore whatsoever. I will not be a part of it. I was a violent drinker. I had so many resentments, and I didn't realize it, that drinking made my life unmanageable, magnified the resentments, and justified my behavior of being violent so I could turn around and use more. So I'm in jail, and I walk up to the dep. I'm like, man, when am I going to see a judge so I can get bail? I need my bail set so I can get out of here. I know how this works. I've been here a long time. He asked me my name. He goes, what's your name? I said, Daniel Brian Carr. He looks it up on his little computer, and he starts laughing. I said, you might find this funny. Yeah, I don't. What's up? What's funny? It says here you've been here since 1980. That is a long time. I went, he goes, what's your name again? I said, Daniel Brian Carr. He goes, no, this is Daniel Philip Carr. I was in the same jail my father was in 1980 as a result of the disease of addiction. Now, my dad died when I was 12, but in 1980, this disease hit him so hard that he ended up in jail. and for some violent stuff. I had become my dad. That moment was the lightning bolt of my life. That's when it was God saying to me, boy, are you done? You already know where this is going to go. It was what I call a God hit. That was truly God knocking at the door going, son, are you done? Are you ready now? All you got to do is ask me. And I hit my knees, and I begged God, begged him, I'm done. In tears, in desperation, hit my knees and begged him. And guess what? It worked.
And here you are. 9 years.
It gets better, man.
And
yes, sir, and it gets better.
That's what I was going to ask. I mean, if you had like to the newcomer or the person that might be on the fence right now, the person that's suffering, the musician that's out there right now, what would you say to a musician that's on the fence, suffering right now, about how their life can change by making a decision to move forward?
All I can do is give my experience. I don't tell anyone else what to do, and I've learned that in recovery. I don't give opinions, I give experience. My experience is this. Music, for me, being a musician, is a passion. Music is connected spiritually and from the heart. I have never been more connected to music than I am now, because I've cleared away so many of the roadblocks between me and God. He gave me the opportunities. I did the work. The roadblocks are gone. I've got a strong connection with my God. And with that, a higher degree of passion has been bred in me. So now when I play music, it is a better feeling than it's ever been. My passion for it is stronger than it's ever been. I recognize that it's a gift from my God. Not everybody knows how to play or can play. I'm one of the gifted ones, not gifted from a sense of ego, gifted me. God said, here, son, I want you to be a musician. I want you to have this gift. What a blessing it is. Everything I was looking for to escape in drugs and alcohol, all of it, I find in music. It's my escape, and it's beautiful. I've got such a passion for it.
Amazing. Joe, you have any questions?
Yeah, well, with regard to, what you just, said about the passion, being bigger and better now than it ever was before, did you find that early on in your sobriety that you noticed that right away, or did that kind of come to you, like, slowly? Like, in other words, did you kind of, like, because with me, I realized just one day, like, actually, doing all this practicing and really kind of getting all my stuff together again, I realized that, hey, I haven't done this in a long time, how did you realize that, your passion, other than, playing out, was kind of back?
It looks like this, man, and that's a great question. The minute I started toying with the idea, because let me do it this way, man. I actually put down the bass when I got serious about recovery and decided if I put the same energy into the step work, learning the principles behind the steps and learning how to live by them, if I put the same energy into that I do playing this bass that I love so much, then I can't fail because God's got me. And I did that. And years into recovery, when I picked it back up and started toying with the idea of playing again, one of the people that distanced himself from me, he's a friend, but I call him a brother, Joseph, you know him? His name is Jeff Doty. Jeff Doty came to me and he said, hey, you're doing great. It's time to play again, and the church needs you right down the road. We need a bass player, and that bass player is you. And I was so thrilled to have Jeff back in my life and so close to me because he's just, Jeff, man, he's awesome people. And we get a real good, clear vision of who the good people are in our lives once we become clean. And we get grateful for them. So I didn't tell him no. And I went to church with my bass. And I've been there for 7 years now, playing in the worship band. But as soon as I started playing, I was like, oh, wow, how how good this feels, but watch how God works. Watch this, if I may. 5 years ago, I had to have brain surgery. I actually had part of my brain removed because I was at risk for death from epilepsy. 2 things happened. One, the surgeons, ready for this? The surgeons handed me, top surgeons in the world, knowing that I'm in recovery, handed me a bottle of Oxycontin, my drug of choice, and a prescription for pain management, otherwise known as my dope hole. And they said, you have to take these or the pain will be so great it will throw you into more seizures. I said, thank you. Please do your job. And I thank you. I'm so grateful, but I'm going to let God do his. I came home. I hit my knees because God never lets me down. And I prayed deep and from my heart and from my spirit with every ounce of me I prayed. God, I don't want to go back. I know you got a plan for me, and it's not this. And I just sat there and breathed easy, and he put it on my heart. I stood up. I went in the other room, and I grabbed, at the time, my 14-year-old daughter, who was concerned. And I said, honey, we're going to have a party. She goes, we are, Dad? I went, yep, come on. We went in the bathroom, and I opened up the bottle of pills, and I tore up the prescription of pain management, and together we jumped up and down and praised God as we flushed it all. I got through recovering from brain surgery with prayer and Tylenol.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah.
What an amazing story.
Here's the hit, and it gets better. It gets better. I get excited when I talk about my God. I hope that's okay. And I wasn't this guy 9 years ago, right? But it looks like this. Here I am with epilepsy, part of my brain missing, and it's a gift. Yes, I still have seizures, not nearly as many as I used to, but I still have them. Big deal. They're a gift. Here's why. I get to show my daughters and my stepdaughters how to persevere through adversity with faith, because these children of mine that range in age from 9 to 19, they are going to watch me more than they hear me. Be an example to them. That is a gift.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
So here's that you were talking about. Yeah, you were talking about music. After I had part of my brain removed, I came back from the hospital, got through the pain, got through the recovery of brain surgery, sat down to play, and it didn't happen. It didn't happen. They removed part of my right temporal lobe in my brain, which is where music is processed. I couldn't play. I struggled with theory, basic scales, fingering techniques. It was gone. But see, at that point, I'd been in recovery long enough to know where it came from. I hit my knees, and I begged my God to give it back to me. And I went to work. I went into the woodshed constantly. For 6 months, I was sleeping with my bass. I was waking up with my bass, and I'm playing better than I've ever played, ever.
Yeah.
He gave me the gift back.
Yeah.
Amazing story. Dan, when you entered back into the groove, or you started playing with the groove, which some of the members of the group played with us at the February Love of Recovery Music Festival. It was an honor and a privilege to have both you and Jeff there. Can you tell us a little bit about what that was for you, as far as the group getting, called up and being able to play with the band? And, you've gone through all of this stuff that you're talking about, and now you get to go and, produce some music and have some fun with that too. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, as far as the groove is concerned, that's the brainchild. There's a funny one for you. That's the brainchild of me and Jeff Doty. We were actually, you're right. We were actually doing some classic rock thing, and I love classic rock. Don't get me wrong. I love me some rock and roll, some classic rock and roll. But we kind of looked at each other one day and said, man, we're not getting any younger, and maybe it's time to play what we've always wanted to play. Maybe it's time to put together that band that we've always talked about since we were kids. And he goes, man, I was thinking the same thing. Jeff's a drummer of 35 years, but became quite the singer. So we prayed together. Yes, we prayed together. We asked God to guide us. I pulled Jeff out from behind the drums, put him up front. He's now the front man, and we just put a set list together of all the best funk and dance music we've always wanted to play, which Joseph will tell you, that's all rhythm section music.
It's killer. It's killer.
So yeah, as a bass player, man, I love playing that stuff, and it's just taken off. We're doing really, really well. Of course we are. We ask God to help us.
You guys are super busy, and I mean, I've seen the band. You guys are just killer, and everybody's loving you, and you're booked every weekend, and the energy that comes off the stage from everyone on the stage, including Jeff Doty and his suits. I mean, it's just, you can't help but dance.
Suits, man.
It's just awesome, man. It's just awesome.
Yeah, you gotta love it.
Yeah,
Jeff suits are
I gotta
amazing.
tell you, man, being on stage now goes deeper than, hey, you know what? Let me play this song. It's way deeper than that, because I get it. I get it. It's a gift from God. I'm on stage, and every note I give to God because He gave it to me. Every note I get to laugh and smile and rejoice at the fact that, man, I am clean. I didn't die. I made it through 2 brain surgeries. I made it through all those years of active addiction, and I'm with my brother on stage, entertaining people with the gifts given to us by God. It doesn't get any better than that, man. It just doesn't.
No,
here's the cool part.
True.
If you're checking out the show tonight, the Groove can be found at their website, and that is thegroovefunk.com. And a little bit about that is covering all the best of funk from Stevie Wonder, Sly and the Family Stone, the Gap Band, and many more. And seasoned pros, just like you were talking about. I mean, this is guaranteed to leave you, jumping up and down and having a great time and a smile on your face. You want to definitely check out thegroovefunk.com. You can also check out the Groove Live at Facebook. The Groove Band Live at Facebook is good stuff, man. In closing, because we're coming towards the end of the show, and I'm going to play a song from you guys, and get into that. It is What You Want to Do for Love. What is that about? You guys just did that? You just recorded that, or what's the deal with that song?
That tune's pretty special. First of all, man, as Tony Fellows, one of my local heroes down here, will tell you, that song's written by Bobby Caldwell, and Bobby Caldwell's a local cat from Fort Lauderdale. And so many people, like in the big time, have covered that tune. And me and Jeff decided that, A, it was in his wheelhouse, and it was real slick. We wanted to put a very slick version of that tune together. And we got this cat on drums, Oscar Dorta, who's killing it, Joseph will tell you. And we just laid down this fat, we just laid down this fat groove underneath those really cool chord changes. And the passion was on. The minute we rehearsed it, it was like, guess what? That's when we're recording. And I'm so happy we did.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Nice. So where are you guys playing out? Tell us a little bit about what's coming up for the Groove.
Wow, that's a great question. The Groove can be found all over the place, man. I mean, we play everywhere from the Hard Rock Casino in Hollywood all the way up to the Twisted Tuna in Stewart, and we are about to start traveling even outside of that spectrum.
Wow.
But we play every weekend. You can always find us at JD's in Coral Springs. We do play Rips Live a lot, Rips in Pompano, and just so many other venues. We do a lot of private work, too. So we've been blessed with bar mitzvahs and weddings and 4th of July celebrations. People are just really digging the energy. And it's hard not to. Not that I'm being arrogant here. I'm not. All glory be to my God. I'm just a man. But it looks like this. We have a blast on stage because we realize how blessed we are to be able to do this. This is a gift, man. This thing called music is a gift. Who am I not to enjoy a gift my God gave me? We have a blast on stage.
June 10th
No doubt.
and June 24th, the Groove will be at Extreme Action Park in Fort Lauderdale, by the way. Two cool places. If you've never been to Extreme Action Park, it's a cool place in Fort Lauderdale. Check it out. You can also find out more information by going to their Facebook page, and it's the Groove Funk at Facebook, and the Groove, and it has their events and it has all their listings there. Pretty cool stuff. I want to thank you guys for being on, and Joe, I want to thank you for being on. Go ahead, Joe.
Oh, my pleasure. Hey, Dan, you have to
Yes,
do me
sir.
a favor.
What's that?
Ask Jeff Doty what he's going to do to get in to Extreme Action Park. I wasn't sure if he was big enough to get on the rides. I wasn't sure if they would even let him in.
That ain't
Yeah,
right.
I'm sure he's listening right now. You'll be hearing about that one.
Right.
And John, if I may say so,
Man. I'm
yeah,
sorry,
he's a short
I couldn't
dude.
help myself. God help me.
Yeah, you got one coming, man. He strikes like a ninja. But check it out. If I may say so in closing,
I know it.
if I may say so in closing, John, if I may please, I can be reached at any of those websites that you just put out on the air. And I say that because if there is anybody struggling that wants to know more about how I did it, how I continue to do it by getting close to God, or you just want to vent, you just want to cry on somebody's shoulder, man, get a hold of me. I promise I'll get back to you. I promise I'll be of service because God asked me to. So any of those websites you talked about, if there's any addicts out there right now that's at the end of their rope and they need some encouragement, they need somebody to listen, they need somebody that understands what you're going through, man, I'm here, or call me.
TheGrooveFunk.com. Check it out. And also, if you don't mind, I can throw your phone number out there, too, if people want to call you. Or you want them to reach you through the site. All right. It's 754-367-2804. And you can also send them through the contact page at the website. Again, Dan, this has been a really special thing for me, and I'm really glad that you were on the show. We want to have you back. You have a great message of hope, and you got a great message of recovery, real recovery. And I'm real glad that you were on with us tonight. And Josette, I'm looking forward to doing more shows with you and hosting some people every Monday night, 8 o'clock. We're looking forward to doing this. Or another time, we're going to figure out what time is best. We might even do it on Sunday night. Who knows? We'll check it out. But me and Joe will be rocking and rolling with some guests.
Anytime, I'm always here, man. Dan, thank you very much for sharing your story, bro. Really, really incredible stuff. And
grateful and honored, brother.
Everybody got a lot out of it. And God bless you, man. You're great, bro. Great.
May God be with you as well, brother.
All right, guys. We're going to go out with What You Want to Do for Love. We'll talk soon, okay? Thanks, guys.
Guess you're wondering where I've been. Search to find a love within. I came back to let you know. Got a thing for you that I can't let go. My friends wonder what is wrong with me. 'Cause I'm in the daze from your love, you see. I came back to let you know. Got a thing for you that I can't let go. People travel around the world for love, but they may never find what they dream of. You won't do for love. You tried everything, but you won't give up. In my world, made me do for love what I would not do. My friends wonder what is wrong with me, 'cause I'm in a daze from your love, you see. I came back to let you know, got a thing for you that I can't let go. So I only want what's best, it's true. Can't believe the things I do for you. You won't do for love. You tried everything, but you won't give up. In my world, only you made me do for love what I would not do. Made me do for love what I would not do. Make me do for love what I would not do. Break it down for me, fellas. Ha! Let me hear the horn, Jesse, let me hear the horn now. One more time, I'm feeling, let me hear one more. Hit me 2 times.
Okay, round 2. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right. ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.